And I just thank you so much for taking the time to come hang out with us.
Oh, my pleasure. And I'm so thrilled to be here. And I love that we have just an intimate group of women. I feel like we could all be around my dining room table. So if you can, put your cameras on if you can, because look at me. And you're all in the makeup business. So each and every one of you looks better than I look right now. And I wish I could tell you I look this way because I've been worried about this tornado all day, but this is pretty much pandemic me in Arkansas, the way that I'm running my business and my life right now. And I'm happy to teach or train on anything y'all would like. But given that this year, I keep saying that 2020 gives new meaning to the phrase 2020 vision, because I don't think any of us envisioned the year that we had, whether it's been awesome or horrible or the best of times or the worst of times or a roller coaster of emotions and changes. There is not one person, I think, on planet Earth on September 1st, 2020, that is looking back over the last few months saying, boy, last year, this was the year I thought I was going to have. So it has been a real jolt, which can be a good thing or a bad thing, but can really innovate and propel your business forward. But why don't you guys, if you have any questions, anything that you're struggling with, anything you'd like me to take my 30 plus years of experience and give you some perspective on, I'm happy to do that. If that's, or I can just give you some things that I think off the top of my head are keys to building long-term sustainable business where you find joy. So you tell me what you want to do, because I am here for you. Okay.
I loved what you said the other day, Lisa, about, you were in this place of, you couldn't find what it like. You couldn't go long term because you were thinking, well, this is temporary.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, I want to tell you a couple things from my life, and then I'm going to let you guys ask questions. We're going to let that dictate where it goes. But first off, I want to give you a little pattern that you should probably deploy if you want long-term happiness in your own business, because I wish I had known this when I started. So often we focus on the how-to, the what. If you draw a circle, if you draw a square at the top of what our business, what we think it is, it's the what, it's the how to. It's when we go out and talk to somebody where we're doing the talking, we're sharing with them what it is. I've got this incredible thing, and oh my God, it could do incredible things for you. And isn't it awesome? And here's its features and here's its benefits. And that's kind of where we start. And I don't know if any of you have ever experienced that, but when you first go out and you talk about that, people aren't always as receptive as we think they're going to be. And the reason for that is, here's the what it is. But where we don't start, where every person starts in life, every time you've ever done something, very seldom do we buy things. We buy things for the way they make us feel, not for what they do. And we don't realize that. Now, there are things we buy for what they do. We buy a kitchen, washing machine because it washes the clothes. But most purchases that we make in life, most of the people that we hang around with, most of the decisions that we make are more about the experience in total than it is about the product itself. So behind the what is the story. And the story, your story, is the most important thing. And most people, when they get started, they believe that they don't have a story worth sharing. I'm not, especially if they're talking about the business, I'm not successful yet. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. And that's where it goes off the rails, because the foundation of why you're here, if it's an authentic calling for you, the very first thing that happened to you wasn't, oh my gosh, I can go sell this. It was, oh my gosh, I like this. This makes me feel good. I like the way this looks on me. I like what this does for my skin. I like the way that people respond to me when I use it. That is the feeling that makes you that made you first and foremost a raving fan of your product. You know, I'm not saying that in the sales world that people don't sell things they're not in love with, but the beauty of our business is most people don't. If you know, occasionally you get caught up in the ether, but if we're really going out and sharing something at the root cause, it's something that made a difference for us at its most basic level. So nobody cares about the what until they care about the story. So too many people get caught up in presenting the information in presentation form versus in response to a question. Because if people are interested, they can't ask you enough questions, right? You can't answer them fast enough. Half the time, the questions are intimidating. They think that somewhere between last week when you didn't know about the lipstick and this week when you found it, you went to MIT and you can answer every science question about every ingredient because they just want to know everything there is to know. That's because on some level, you touched something. But what you touched took them there because it was in their head, because we start with the what. The place to start is always with the question or an opener. Michelle, it's Lisa. I've got to share something with you because I started using this product and it's so amazing. I just thought maybe you'd want to know about it too. Let me share. When somebody says, well, what's it do? They don't want the science. Well, let me tell you what it did for me. Let me tell you what's happened for me. As a matter of fact, the reason I decided to go out and share this and bring out and start a side gig in my life was because I found myself sharing it anyway. You know, what do? When we love something, we share it. And I was going to, here I am telling everybody I know about this movie or that restaurant. Nobody ever told me I could make a career out of it. So here's the story. The what is about them. You see, the what is about them, and your story and your enthusiasm for what it did for you means that you don't know exactly what it will do for them, and neither do they unless they try it. It did amazing things for me, and I think you would get amazing results too. And if you want to know all the science, we don't test on animals, and yeah, I can get you that. We've got it on a sheet of paper, and we even have special people, people that really have knowledge on it. And I think you're going to love it. But I think this color will look amazing on you, but we're not really going to know exactly what you're going to feel about it, what it can do for you till you try it. And everybody wants to be more beautiful, feel better. So first comes, so we all think it starts with the what, that's step 2, but really step 1 is the question and the conversation where you get to share your story as inspiration as it may relate to them, and then find out their story. Because if you want to think about the business we're really in, we're in the problem-solving business. And so often, we're in the solution business. So often people think that what attracted them is what's going to attract someone else. And we get very narrow. Which, see, when it's about you and it's your story, it's great. Oh my gosh, it's all amazing stuff. But I just had this thing with my skin, with this discoloration, with this melanin. When I use this foundation, oh my gosh, my skin was great. That's me. That's okay, because a 20-year-old might say, well, I don't have that problem, but my eyebrows are so light that I always feel like they're sinking into my face and I look like an albino. Oh my gosh, we have a product that's never been that much of an issue for me, although I love, our eyebrow stuff. But there's a girl who has a similar problem to you, and she swears by this product. I'll bet it'll work wonders for you, because all the products are amazing. I don't use all the products, but they're amazing. So first that for story, then the what. The next thing people get worried about is they get confused, and this is important, and I train on this a lot. These are not the words that I would use, because I never think of strategy and tactic, but I found that when I separated it, it really did make sense, because most of us confuse how-tos, which are tactics, with strategy. Like, what do I do? Oh, make a list, call it, did it, here's step 1, here's the recipe of what you do. That's not the strategy. And people have to understand the difference between strategy and tactics so they don't get intimidated. For example, in the war or in life, my strategy, My strategy is I am going to get 100 people over the next 4 months to try Wonderlift. I just made it up. Wonderlift. It's the only product we sell, and I'm going to get 100 people to agree, and then we're going to talk about to try it, meaning they're going to buy it, but I'm not going to assume they're a customer, because there's a difference between being a trier buyer and a customer, and we experience it every day. We see something, and take it outside of our space. We see something we like, and somebody has something we like, or we see an ad on television, or somebody says, oh my God, this shampoo is amazing. And we go out and we buy it and we try it. And based on our experience, we might become a customer, meaning that might become your brand. It might not become your brand. If I walked around your house, I would find a lot of things in personal care, from what you wash your clothes with, up to what you use for shampoo, what you use to wipe, your favorite glass cleaner. I say this because I just found the greatest glass cleaner on earth, and Windex is out of my life. Windex, which I used for many years, has been replaced with something called Sprayway that you can get at Walmart that has no streaks whatsoever. And I say this because it's just proof that this is something that today I did mirrors, so I'm all on top. So you buy it, you try it. If you love it, and that's the whole experience, and it becomes your brand, now you're a customer. When you can't stop talking about it, you're a raving fan and on the cusp of being a promoter, because the only reason you aren't is you've never been in this space before, and you're not aware that somebody will actually pay you for doing that when it's something that you love. Is this making sense? So that's the strategy. The tactic I've decided to get 100 people to buy my Wonderlift is I'm going to go out and I'm going to do house parties. This is my tactic. I'm going to call my friends like Michelle and Callie, you're going to be my friend, and Carrie, you're going to be your friend. And I'm going to say, I've got this amazing product and I want your help. I want you to try it. And if you like it, I'm going to give you a bottle if you'll invite a bunch of your friends over so we can do a Wonder party. That's my tactic. Oh my gosh, along comes a pandemic. My tactic just went to hell in a handbasket. But so that's where people say it won't work anymore. This is why people quit. This is why people get discouraged. My tactics let's back it up. My other tactic was I'm not a party girl. I'm not a home party girl. So that wasn't my tactic. I just use that as an example. I'm a live girl. Okay. I'm going to do lives. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do lives because I'm going to bring value. I'm going to do makeup tutorials on YouTube. Not that anybody would want me to watch me do it, but we all know that cooking cats and putting makeup on attract a lot of attention online, and lately dogs. So this is my tactic. Okay, that works for me. But along comes Carrie, and Carrie says, I ain't going live. I don't like talking in front of people. I don't like looking at myself on the camera. And maybe someday she will, maybe someday she won't. But a lot of people think, oh, you have to do lives. You have to do lives. And I encourage it, but it's a tactic. Going to someone's house is a tactic. What was my strategy? What was my outcome? My outcome is to get 15 customers. So my strategy is to get 100 people to try the product, buy it once, and out of that, get 15 people that can't live without it. Maybe I'll get more, but I'm going that if 100 people try it once and they have a good experience, and I treat them well, because I don't know the numbers yet, but that would be a good guess that 15 are going to be off the hook. So my strategy is to get 100 people to try it to get 15 who are lifelong fans. My tactic was the house parties. Pandemic comes along. Oh my gosh. Now what do I do? Because I need people to try the product. So my strategy hasn't changed. I still want to get 100 people to try the product so I can get 15 that are long-term customers. Am I making sense here? You guys following? So now I have to go back and say, okay, what is it I'm trying to accomplish long-term? 15 customers over the next 60 days. How did I plan to do that? 100 people trying it. Well, the tactic that I thought worked so well, the tactic that they showed me when I signed up isn't going to fly here. How can I get that done? So now I'm going to go back and say, okay, I can still do parties. I'm going to call Callie. I'm going to say, can you bring a bunch of your friends over for a virtual party? I'm going to talk about the product. I'm going to offer a great deal because we have a pandemic where I don't, I'm going to give them a great deal for all the people here. The first 5 people on every party I do, I'm going to give an amazing deal. If they'll do me a favor and get the product, try it, and evaluate it for me, I'm going to collect testimonials and I'm going to report back to Callie. We're going to arrange when we do that call a month later or 3 weeks later to get back together so that everybody can report their results. And I'm going to use the testimonials of all the different people when my friends put virtual parties together for me, and testimonials, and get people that have used the product with me. I'm then going to take them and we're all going to go on live, and it's going to be me and my story about the product and 5 people that are not in my business that were just trying the product. So people are going to believe them. We're all going to share wonderful experiences. And then I'm going to take that video and I'm going to use it when I talk to people to encourage them to try the product and see if it's for them. So always understand that story, what are we trying to accomplish? Story, focus on the outcome. What's my strategy? Those pretty much never change. Strategies can be tweaked. And what is my plan? What is the plan for me to implement the strategy? And the plan can always change. If you're clear on the other things, you're bulletproof, because when something happens, you don't have to change what you wanted to accomplish. You don't have to change what your outcome was. You don't have to change your strategy. It's a good strategy. Puffy dog approach. Get people to love it. Get it in front of enough people that you'll find those that are your fans. Then take your fans, get in front of more people. And soon you have a whole 10 people saying it's wonderful and you can take over the world, right? So if those things never change, your plan always can. Your plan can always be tweaked. Your tactical plan can always be tweaked, modified, and it's easy. What happens to people is we start to think that the tactic is the strategy. Oh my gosh. To be successful, I have to go live. If I can't go live, then I can't be successful. And I'm not very good at doing lives. Doing lives scare me. And oh my gosh, I'm a terrible person because I said I was going to go live on Monday and I didn't go because I was afraid. And then I went on Tuesday and it was, nobody came. Thank God nobody came, because if anybody came, I would have been embarrassed because it was just really, really awful because I don't know what I'm doing. So I deleted it anyway. And then you talk to the person, and all of a sudden their whole life is about their close-up on a live, as if success or failure depends on their ability to do a live video. Well, none of us are opera singers or actresses, and that's not the key. And so if we keep our eye on, wait a minute, that's a strategy. Okay, I get that it's a really good one, and maybe one day I'll do that. But if I really feel I can't do it, or it really holds me back, would it be better for me to stress about that all day, or try to look at a different plan to put it in place? There's more than one way to skin a cat. There always is. So take the pressure off. What happened to me during this pandemic was initially, I immediately said, okay, people think of my product as essential. Charles Revson proved a long time ago, owner of Avalon Cosmetics, that the lipstick factor was the most enduring desire in any crisis. So you have that going for you. Women still want to look good. So immediately I knew, okay, what is my outcome? The customers are the key, because it's wonderful that we've all made a decision, that we've all made decisions to start businesses of our own, to go out and help spread the sunshine, spread the love, make women feel good about themselves. It's awesome. But in order for that model to work and for us to be able to continue to do it, customers underpin it all. If nobody's buying anything, then we're missionaries with the cause. So I said, okay, well, everybody else was focused on like recruiting. I was focused on let's go lock down our customers, make sure our customers are okay, make sure our customers know about all the great deals that we have. Because at home, people want to feel beautiful more than they want to feel awake. And it's just the easiest thing to let go. So then I knew to do that. But and we had a really good month, and we got, all of we put together, and here's some thoughts for you that while we're in these downtimes, we put together like coffee clutches like this, rather than just going live all the time, which is not as interactive. We invited people to virtual coffee chats where we'd be talking about our products. You can invite people to virtual makeovers where everybody can get together and put makeup on together on a Zoom. People love it. It's fun. It's connected. But after that was done, and I took a step back, I started to hear the news. I think we were all in shock when this stay-at-home thing first happened. I think it was like, that's kind of cool. Stay at home for a month, get off the merry-go-round, spend more time with your family, clean up all those cupboards you wanted to clean out that you never have time, get them done. And then we'll go back to normal. We'll go back to normal. Well, we didn't. And by the way, we're not going back to normal. There's been too much innovation, too much change. We're going forward to what's next. And it's going to be even better when we all come through this, because we're always better when we come through the storm. But 4 weeks, we thought we'd be going back to normal. And every day it was like, when is this going to be over? And when that was going on, couldn't really make any decisions. I lost my long-term vision, was getting clouded because I didn't know where I was going to be in January. I didn't know what was going to happen in November. So every time I started to try to make a plan or get a vision, the reality of who knows where we'll be. So all of a sudden, my entire world, which has always been focused on the long-term picture, the big picture, the vision I'm creating, was being eroded by this feeling that even if it went on forever, it was temporary. You could tell me that this is going to be over a year from today, and if I knew that, I might could get some stuff done, but my mind's still going, oh, this is temporary. This is temporary. You don't want to make long-term plans based on temporary. And I was losing my mind, because temporary can go on for a long time. Temporary is the mother of procrastination. Temporary is, this will be over soon, so why sweat it? Why deal with it? Why try to figure it out? I'll just wait it out, and then things will get back to normal. And then the magic happened, because I went back to the key to how we accomplish anything. And you're all really good at this. Some of you may be conscious of it. Some of you may not. But when you, in your life, if you think about this, when you really knew what you wanted, I don't care if it was in business, in play, a dress, a trip, a new sewing machine, doesn't matter. When you knew exactly what you wanted to the point that you could see it so clearly, did you ever not get it? I mean, if it was something you really wanted, did you not always, if you look around your house, there are some things there. There are some things there that maybe don't fit that bill, but there are things. So I'm going to tell you the secret of successful people. And yes, persistence is important. All mindset, they're all important. But here's the clue. Here's the secret sauce. What you want to do is you want to master the art of specificity. It serves you in everything you do. Everything you do. Because most people haven't. Children have mastered the art of specificity, but somewhere when we grow up, we lose it. We get vague. If you go ask most people what they want out of a business, what they want more of, inevitably it'll be, I want more money. How many times have you heard, I want more money? How many times have you thought, I want more money? Money can't clothe you, feed you, keep you warm at night. You can't eat it. You can't play with it. Money is a tool that can bring you a place to live and food to eat and all of those things. But most people stop with money. I want more money. They don't quantify it. They don't. So when you ask for the vision, because successful people commit to the vision they're creating. How many of you women, and it could be some of you, but usually it's guys, have had a man in your life who's a car guy? You know, like in love with whatever particular car they're in love with. You ever been around one of those car guys? Okay, if you ask them what kind of car they want, their dream car, they can tell you what year, what color, what the spokes look like, what the floor mats are going to be, what the pinstriping is going to be, you know, what they're going to have hanging over the rear view mirror. They can see it so clearly. If you go to a child near their birthday or Christmas and you say, you know, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Christmas? They will show up with a list. And on that list, they will tell you exactly what they want, what store has it, where it can be bought on sale, why they want it. And they won't just tell you why they want it. They will tell you why they need it. They will tell you why they deserve it, why life on earth will not be as it should be if they don't have it. And inevitably, what do we usually do? We get it for them because they're so earnest, they're so persistent, they're so clear in their, you know, in their desire. And that's kind of the way life works. If you really want something with specificity, the universe will open up and deliver it to you. So I always ask people what they want, and a child has a child can deliver me a list of 10 things to buy them, all specific. And I'll have a grown-up say, you know, I really want to travel. Great. Where do you want to go? I don't know. Somewhere sunny. I've always thought the beach. I think I'd like to go to the beach. Well, there's a lot of beaches in the world. And if you don't take the time to really visualize it, and you can't envision something you've not identified, you have to see the picture. We don't think in words. We think in pictures. And specific words help us create pictures in our mind that become indelible in our imagination, that are so vivid for us that they drive us and they draw us, and we can always circle back. They become the point of the compass when we're getting off track. But, you know, oh my gosh, this business is so hard. I had 7 people today tell me no. And you know, I just don't want to do it anymore. And what's my reason for staying? Because once upon a time, you know, what's my compelling reason? Oh yeah, because 3 months ago when somebody asked me what I would do if I had successes, I'd go to a beach somewhere. I don't even remember. I have no picture. So the mastering the art of specificity is almost becoming an interrogating, prosecuting attorney, first of yourself, then of life, then of other people, but not in a interrogatory, mean way. How do you solve someone's problem? The more you know about them, the more specific the more information you have, the better you are able to serve. The more that you let people talk, if you guide the conversation with questions, the more that they will spout out the answer when they're talking, but because they've got so much distraction and so much clutter going on, they don't hear the nugget in the nonsense. But if you're listening with intent ears, you do, and you repeat back to them something they said to you, and all of a sudden you're brilliant for identifying the solution to their problem. And it happens all the time. So I want to run a little experiment with you. It takes about 5 minutes. If you've all got pens, and it's going to fascinate you. And it's something I recommend that you do with yourself often, once we complete it, and then with your teams and with your customers or would-be customers, but in a little bit different of a format. I want you to pretend that today is Terrific Tuesday. It's Terrific Tuesday. And in honor of Terrific Tuesday, in your mystical bank accounts, I am depositing $1 million in each of your bank accounts for Terrific Tuesday. And you're going to have to use this money pretty quickly, or at least identify where it's going. And typically when you ask people what they want to do or why they need to make money or why they want to make money, they usually tell you that they want to pay off their bills. How many times have you heard somebody say, well, I would love it if I could pay off my bills? Yeah, if paying off bills is a worthy thing and we should all be debt free. But if that was enough to motivate people, then none of us would have any debt, because they had the bills to pay off before you got there, before they saw this, before they saw anything else. And if it was that important, they'd have found a way. People typically don't get excited about working hard today to get paid tomorrow so they can pay for what they bought last week that they don't even like anymore. Okay? They really just don't find that motivating. How many things in life have you bought by the time you got them paid off, you hated them and didn't understand why you bought them in the first place? Bills are just not that motivating. So for Terrific Tuesday, I have also paid off all your bills. So you now owe no money except what's coming in every month, your regular monthly expenses, but you kept your monthly income. I haven't taken that away. So assuming that we don't do anything crazy, status quo, bills are paid off, money's coming in with your regular income, covering your current lifestyle, and over here, you have $1 million. I want you to grab a pen, and when I say go for 5 minutes, I want you to write down with specificity what you would do with the money and why that matters. And I'll give you some prompts to think about in the first minute or so, and then I'm going to go on mute, and you're going to have a total of 5 minutes to, and just write. Don't think, just write. And write with, and don't type, don't use a device. I love devices, but sometimes if you're in a car, you can do, Michelle, you can do it on a recording or something. I don't want you to have an accent. But the art of writing sometimes makes us pour out stuff that typing doesn't. It ignites different parts of our brain. Okay. Everybody got a pen? Everybody understand the rules? Okay, go. Maybe you want to get a new house. What does it look like? Is it a split level? Is it a ranch? How many bedrooms does it have? How many rooms does it have total? What's the kitchen like? What's the flooring look like? What color is it painted? And when you go out to the garage, maybe you want a car. What's the car? Why that car? Where is this house located? Is it where you live now? In the area you live now, or do you want to relocate? And if you relocate, why did you pick that place? Maybe you want to travel. Where do you want to go? Where have you always wanted to go? Why there? What are you going to see when you get there? What are you going to do? Who's going with you? Maybe you want to spend more time with your kids. What would you do with your kids if money and time, if you had the time and money weren't an issue? What would you do with your family? Maybe you want to get involved in a charity. Maybe you want to get involved in a cause. Maybe you want to change the world. Maybe there's always been something that you wanted to do that doesn't earn money, but it's calling on your heart and you've never had the opportunity and now you do. Maybe you want to take care of your parents and make sure that they're taken care of in life. Maybe you want to set up college funds for your kids. Whatever it is, there's no judgment, but specific as you can be. And don't worry, you're going to get better in time. So now it is 6:37. You have until 6:41. And then we were 2 minutes, 2 more minutes. Keep writing. Time. Okay, unmute and tell me what you learned. I don't everybody go at once.
I'll go. So that was interesting because I know exactly what it is that I want to do, but when you're painting walls and you're designing marble and you're not, you know what your virtual assistant, how many hours she's going to work and like all these things a week or whatever, you get so specific that you're seeing it, you believe it, you know what it is. My kitchen, I was in it. I was standing in the kitchen, pointing my fingers, telling these people, you know, this marble top, like I could see it so clear. And when you said, "Has there ever been anything that you wanted that you didn't get?" And last month, for example, last month we ranked to, you know, I ranked to a substantial rank, and usually you don't do that again really close, but I said it was happening. I wanted it. I could see it. I knew it was going to happen, and it did. And in order for that to happen, everybody else had to step up. They wanted it too. So when we're really clear,
because you saw more than a rank. Most people see the rank, but they don't see what
it is.
They don't see what it takes to get the rank.
Yep.
And that's why they don't achieve it, because a rank advancement, it can be done a lot of ways that don't work, but it's a team effort and a shared vision of what everybody has to do to get that prize. We're often able to do it in groups if the groups don't fight, because collectively, that's what we do. We brainstorm and we get more specific, but we usually don't do it with the things that we personally want long-term, because what Michelle described was a goal. Okay. Hitting a rank this month, getting something. There is a difference between a goal and a vision. A vision is the canvas of your life. It's the masterpiece of your life. And success comes from committing to the vision of what you're creating. And the goals are merely markers along the way. They're part of the strategy. I want to get to be I want to be president of the United States. Well, what's my strategy? Well, I think I'll run for state senate, then I'm going to go for governor, then I'm going to be in the Senate, and then I'm going to run for president. So each one of those are just milestones, because my vision is me as president of the United States. And every day when I'm in that first campaign for state senate, and it's tough and it's horrible, and I'm having a hard time raising money and all the aggravation, well, just to be state senator, it might not be worth it. But that's not the vision that's driving me. I'm going to be president. And if I'm going to be president, this is just little nonsense along the way, because yeah, it's a pain on this local level that I'm having to deal with this loudmouth man who keeps making fun of me because I'm a woman, and he sent me, he went and gave an interview and said, what is she doing? A woman's place is in the house. And when they came to interview me, I said, yeah, you're right. A woman's place is in the house, and it's in the Senate, and that's where I'm going. Right? It's the vision of the grand picture that is the masterpiece of your life that drives you. And the more specific that picture becomes, whatever it is, the more it calls you. And if you sit and you listen to most successful people, they'll ask them, did you ever think you'd end up here? When I started, no. But at some point, I knew exactly what I was going to do. And once you know exactly what you're going to do, you then are that person exercising the steps. I always tell people, when people get involved, let's say in our business, when I started, I'm at the highest rank in my company, and that didn't happen on the first day. We all know that that's a build to get to the highest rank. However, I knew that's where I was going. So from day one, I behaved exactly as I behaved, having now achieved it. Because nobody ever decided to become a millionaire, became a millionaire, and then figured out how to be the CEO of the company. They had to start being with the mindset of the CEO of the company and fill in the blanks. So I always tell people, if you're going to go to the top of the company and you've made that decision and you think and act as that person, then everything you do every day is just filling out the paperwork. It's just filling out the paperwork. If you go build your dream house, you go buy the lot, Ray just bought a lot for a new house. They're staring at a piece of dirt. But that house that will be on that lot one day, they know exactly what it's going to look like. That's why when it's done, it will be their perfect house. You don't figure it out along the way. You can't go to a builder and say, I just want, give us some bedrooms and, living room. We go, yeah, we have to eat. So throw a kitchen in. Oh yeah, we have some kids. We probably should have somewhere for them to play. And, I think we need to put a fence up so the dog can go build me a house. What are the chances that when that house is done, you're going to walk in and say, oh my God, it's me. Right? The more specific you are, the better your outcome. The more clear your vision, the less you ever have to worry about what to do, because every decision you have to make in the short term, unless it's a crisis, and then you adapt, but it's okay. If I do this, yeah, it might make me some money today, but where is that? But as I take that step, is that a step on the road closer to where I want to go? Or is that a step down a detour that I don't know where it ends? Because short-term gain, the quest for short-term gain that is dominated by short-term thinking will destroy long-term vision, or so completely cloud your ability to see it that it's like you're operating in the dark, blind. That's what happened to me when I started looking at this temporary situation instead of beyond the horizon, because where we're going hasn't changed. Who we're here to help hasn't changed. What our mission is hasn't changed. All that may have to change are some of the tactics and the ways that we achieve those outcomes, simply because certain things are no longer available to us in this moment. But if you think about it, some of the things that we have innovated because certain things are no longer available to us in this moment, when we go forward, and we're talking about this 5 years from now, life will be a hybrid, because there's tactics that we've picked up through this pandemic that we're not giving back in the way that we live. I'll give you an example for me. I use Amazon from time to time. I'm 58 years old. I did not do a lot of online shopping for me. I would do online shopping if I wanted to send a gift or something because it was easier to, so I couldn't try it on. It wasn't for me anyway. So I could look at it online and send it. But I lived in this, when I lived in the city when I'm living in Hong Kong. I live in this, I'm in the suburbs in Dallas. Everything is close. And I probably ran to Sam's, Target, Walmart, Costco, that type of store, that everything in the world plus grocery store 4 or 5 times a week. I'd run to get water, run to get tape, run to get poster board because we're going to be vision boarding next week, run to get some markers. Oh my God, the Sharpie for the whiteboard. And obviously during this pandemic, we started operating online. Who knew that everything in Walmart, except for eggs and the perishables, can be on your doorstep in 2 days or less for free? No shipping. And if you order it and your store in the corner doesn't have it, you're going to get it because they'll go to every Walmart in the country to their inventory to send it to you. Well, I'm never going to schlep water again. Because you drive to the store, we're always buying bottled water. Anybody who's been around, I don't care what we market in our space, if you've been in this space long enough, inevitably you start drinking bottled water and you start thinking about your skin, and because everybody's in some health or beauty aspect of something. So you go to the store, you get this big old thing of water, you got to drag it off the thing, put it in the cart, then go check out, then go out to your car, take it out of the cart, put it in the trunk, then bring it home, go in the trunk, take it out of the trunk and put it wherever you keep the water. Why would I do that ever again? This could all be over tomorrow. And I have discovered so many things that are convenient, where often you can get a better deal of doing things online late at night. Oh, you have to run to the store because they're closing at 9 o'clock, or get up early in the morning because so the only time you really have to go is for the perishables. And pretty soon with this new thing that Walmart is launching, and with Amazon Fresh, if you happen to live in that area, I do in Dallas, they'll deliver your food too. Just like the gig economy changed everything. How many people, when you were 16, all you wanted was a car, and now that you're having success in business, all you want to do is Uber and leave your car at home and have somebody drive you around? So the innovation is going to forever change the way we do things anyway. So the people that pivot now, innovate, ask the right questions, can set themselves up that if this goes on forever, they're going to be successful and thrive. And if it doesn't, they're going to be bulletproof next to the competition, simply because they have so many tactics with which they can enact their strategy. So many different ways to get it done. What changed it all for me was one day I said, what if this changes, but whatever the changes are, in the end, I basically find that I'm sitting here in the middle of nowhere until January 1st, not of 2021, but 2022. What if that's the case? How would I build an empire with just an internet connection, some devices, and my relationships? What would other people like me feel? How can I connect with people that can achieve the outcome I want? And that's the key. That's the difference maker. I watched a number of people, Tony Robbins, Taylor Swift, all these people that focused not on what they were doing every day. That's the tactic. They took a step back and said, what were we trying to accomplish? If you look at some of the greater things that are happening in a virtual world right now, some of the events, some of the things that are being delivered, not just in our space, but all over, that are really good. If you would have gone to those people a year ago and said, you know, the concerts, could you ever do a concert online? Of course not. Why would you do a concert online? A concert should be done in person. That probably would have been their answer, because that's the way they did it. But because circumstances forced it, look at some of the amazing symphonies that we've seen perform collectively, all from their homes, using Zoom perfectly, making this beautiful music. Look at the opportunities that online events are creating. You know, this past weekend, Jessie Lee did her virtual event, and she wasn't excited to do a virtual event. Nobody was. We'd never done it before. Events are the lifeblood of our business. But what's an event about? It's about people getting a bigger picture by coming together. Well, how would we do that how would we bring people together to create a bigger picture? It's about people feeling not alone. Well, what are the types of things we could do while this event is going on to connect people, to make it interactive? What types of games can we play? What types of things can we do to make people participate, to make people raise their hand? What do we want people to leave on the day? What actions do we want them to take? Well, what kinds of things can we do online to precipitate those actions? Because it's not about the way we're used to doing it or the way we've always done it or even the way we'll do it tomorrow. It's about what are we trying to achieve? What do we want them to feel? You know, if God forbid you're on the other side of the world and a family member or a friend goes through a crisis and they call you on the phone, you want to make them feel better. Your first inclination is to get on a plane. And if you can, you do. But if you can't, you don't say, oh my gosh, can't get on a plane, too bad for you, and hang up. You still manage to make them, you think it through, and you find other ways to love on them and make them feel good and connect with them and help them, even if it's from distance. That's the secret to not coming through all this, but thriving through all this and dominating and being the boss babes that you're destined to be. Look at all the people, even before this happened, of your generation that are creating sales of things with crazy videos on TikTok, go figure. TikTok didn't even exist a year ago. So it wasn't a tactic that anybody had. And now whole businesses are being built around it. Some people had a natural yen for it. Some people said, well, gosh, I'm competing with the whole world on Instagram, but if I go over to TikTok, it's me against dancing dogs. Because in the beginning, that's what was on there, was dancing dogs and Chinese bands. So innovation is the key, and the key to innovation is the big picture of what you're trying to create. And the key to that is mastering the art of specificity. And the key to that is asking the next question and the next question and the next question until the picture is so vivid that it's so completely painted that there's no need, unless you add to the picture, to go back to the paint set anymore. And that's what I got. You guys got any questions? Anything I can help with?
There's a question in the chat, Lisa. Let me find it.
You're driving. Don't look at chats while driving.
I'm at Taco Bell. I'm good. I gotta get my husband something to eat. But I know Jan, she asked a question.
I'm looking through. How does Lisa keep from getting burned out?
Yeah.
Well, it's actually, I told you without knowing the question. I've got very clear vision of what I'm trying to create, and I'm very committed to it. So there are days that I do get burned out. But those are days when I let the day cloud the picture. And sometimes what we do as human beings is we try to force ourselves to see through the clouds. That's that would be the same as standing in the rain, telling it to stop raining. Sometimes it's easier just to go in the house and say, you know what? I'll get back to it when the rain clears. I'll be able to see more clearly. For me, I love to cook. That's therapy for me. So sometimes I'll go and create in the kitchen. Sometimes I'll come out and work with a group of people that I've never met before, because that's exciting and invigorating, and it gives you different perspective, reminds you why you're here. Sometimes I'll show up. I always show up. Showing up is 95% of it. But sometimes there are days when I show up for everything that's scheduled, but they're not initiate days. Like today, I'm going to show up and serve everybody because I'm going to honor my commitment. Commitment is showing up even when you're not in the mood. but I'm not going to go out and try to start something new or start a new conversation or try to take over the world today, because my energy level, my attitude is such that all I'm going to do is buy myself a whack of frustration and not be happy with the result, because I don't marry the results. Marry the process, commit to the process. The world is full of people. Divorce the results, because we're in the choice business. Everything we do every day is a choice. Michelle asked me if I would do this. I had a choice. I could say yes, I could say no. She told you it was happening. You had a choice. You could show up or not show up. There could have been one of you or 1,000 of you, and I was going to show up to do it regardless, because I like to focus. Too often we're focusing on the things that are going wrong to recognize the things that are going right. Too often, and I see it all, we'll have 5 people that you met and they loved it and they're happy, and then there'll be one person who just for whatever reason is rude or tells you you didn't do a good job, or tells you they love your stuff but they don't want to buy it, or whatever it is. And all day we want to figure out what we did wrong there, forgetting that we have 5 people that are excited and wanting to work or wanting to do. And with 5 people that want, I can turn that into 25 people. One person that doesn't, even if I somehow get them to do it, they're going to take me out of the game with their negativity. So shift your focus, because the wrong people are not the people that are going to keep you on the right road anyway. And you don't know who the right people are until they prove themselves to be the right people. But you know people that could be the right people, because you'll see that in their attitude and the way they treat others and the way they treat themselves. One of the things that somebody told me once, and it really did change my life. It took me a lot of years to accept, but really, really, really smart, good business people are not afraid to fire bad customers. One second. Excuse me.
Bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you.
Thank you. I have a tendency to sneeze in bundles. They're not afraid to say no to the wrong person, even though they might gain something short term, because they know that can take them off track long term. They're not afraid to let people go. Okay. Carrie, they're not in conflict. You just think they are. Carrie asked, I really got into this business to create an additional income. I'm a single mom. Well, I love the money that I make. I certainly am not a missionary. However, money is just an indicator. Money is your report card. It's how you keep score. It's how you keep score. If you talk to, if the person who talks to 100 people a month is going to make more money than the person who talks to 50 people a month, and they're going to make more money than the person who talks to 10 people a month, and they're going to make more people than the person who talks to 5. Because the beautiful thing about our business is it's not measured in linear time. It's measured in conversations had and conversations followed up on. So when you serve people, you are serving yourself first. Everything we do for ourselves for some form or fashion. I go out and serve people because I like the way it makes me feel. I really do. It's addictive. I get a real rush when I see that my being somewhere made a difference in someone's life, something I said or something I did. If I do a lot of that, the universe is going to reward me. So if you make it about them, that's what leads you to the income. Because nobody wants to be sold, but everybody wants to buy from someone who makes them feel good. Think about it. If you go to a store, or you go somewhere and somebody's really warm and wonderful to you and they don't have it in your size, you want to buy something because they spent time with you. You may not do it, but you want to. If somebody's professional but not memorable, then let's say you go to the Sephora store and Carrie, you help me, it's you help me, and you're awesome. And I can tell that you are not trying to sell me stuff. You are trying to share with me stuff that you think I'll feel beautiful. I'll make it even easier than that. You go into a store, you pick up a dress, you hold it, you put it on, and a sales girl says, how do I look? You say to the sales girl, how do I look? And you look great in everything you put on, Carrie, but it's not the most flattering dress on you. I have 10 other dresses in the store that I think you would enjoy more. Do you like the sales girl better? It says, oh my God, it's awesome. Let me ring that up for you. You look so fantastic. Oh my God. Or Carrie, of course you look beautiful in that dress, but I have 3 or 4 others you might want to take a look at that I think you might like as much or even better. And you know, what does a woman want if not choices? Which one of them are you really going to like better? The one who made it about you because she knows you're going to buy a dress anyway, who took the time to get you the perfect dress for you. Where are you going to go the next time you need a dress? You're going to go back to that person because you know that she's got your best interests at heart. So what you're selling is your ability to help people solve their problem. And with what you have solves their problem, you can make it about them and create the income you're looking for. So they're not things that are in conflict for one another. Just always put yourself in the other person's shoes. And it could be your 3rd MLM or your 35th. Do you love your product? Do you really, really, really love your product? Would you buy your products whether you were in this company or not? Okay, would you have done that with the other 2? Are you still using them? Whatever it was they sold?
One of them I am, yeah.
Okay, then it's a great product and it just wasn't for you. But the one that wasn't. So if there was no opportunity, it's not a product you would have bought anyway, right?
Right.
So you probably weren't going to be very effective at selling it. See, I always tell people in this business,
right. Yeah, you're right.
By the way, there are a lot of great products in network marketing and I buy a lot of them as a customer. So I'm always looking for customers. But I understand that somebody doesn't have to be my business to be my customer, and that's a big distinction. What we want to do is we want to remember that there's a place for everybody in the community and take everybody through the same steps and let them decide, because a promoter who does not love their product is not bulletproof to all the people that are going to laugh and will stop talking very quickly because they don't know if they can be successful in business. But if you have a product that you love and somebody tells you it's overpriced or no good or you don't need it, you don't care what they think, you know. And the strongest thing in business, the first brick is belief. Even if you don't believe in yourself yet, you can believe in your own experience, and that if you love it, that sharing your own experience, the power of that experience will get other people to at least be interested. And then you can tap into your support team because they believe in you. But the first thing that you want to instill upon people is belief, because belief in something, because it will all be attacked. The product will be attacked, the business will be attacked, the decision will be attacked. That's just human nature. But if people start with the product, sharing the product that they love with their own story, it's not intimidating. And people that and that's the difference. People that you make feel good will not only buy from you and become your customer, not just a customer for Wonderlift, which they can buy from anybody on the phone, because we all have Wonderlift. They will start talking about it and bring their friends to you because you made the experience wonderful for them, because you made it about them. Today, most products are somewhat commodities, because even the ones that we know are unique, well, if people get inside the environment, they can say, oh my gosh, this is so much better than any product I've ever used before. That's why I'm going to switch. It's how we change brands, how I change hair care. I liked what I was using, but then I used something else to my friends that she recommended, and I was like, where have you been all my life? Not destined by the hair that got caught in the rain today. If you look at my picture on my homepage, I looked better before I got poured on. So if they make you feel good, so if it's a commodity, how many places could you go get your nails done, for instance, in your own town, in normal situations? How many places can you go get your hair done? How many Chinese restaurants are there? Why do you go back to that one? Well, yeah, part of it is they do good work. Well, today, anybody that doesn't do good work, every person in the world is a publisher and they all talk. So a place that doesn't have good products or deliver good service, they're going out of business anyway. Because people have so many choices. But why do we go to the places we go? Because the people make us feel good. It's all how you look at things. My daughter can get her hair cut at a Supercuts because she's usually about the haircut. She's on the run. I go to my hairdresser, not because she cuts hair any better than anybody else. She's good. There are a lot of people that are really good. But she makes me feel good. She makes me feel like it's not just a haircut. Like it's important to her that I am happy with the way my hair is cut. We all have those people in our lives. Think about how you feel about your business. And think about, because that's how people are going to feel about you when you make them feel that way with your business. Does that help? Anything else? And I can give you some techniques and tactics that will help. That's exactly right, Linda. That is Maya Angelou and one of my favorite sayings of all time. People don't remember what you said. They very seldom remember what you did, but they always remember how you made them feel. I'm here today because Michelle has always been very sweet to me. And I would come back anytime you guys wanted because you've all been a wonderful audience. But prior to this call, I didn't know anybody but her. And because she's always treated me nicely and with respect and everything else, I'd do anything in the world for her. And I wouldn't have been ugly, by the way, if she hadn't. I might still say yes. But some people, I don't say no, but I'm really busy. And I have a lot of people ask me to do calls. So I might tell them, oh yeah, I'm so busy, but call me in a couple of months. If they call back, I'll do it. And if they don't, I'm like, oh, well. But her, she's like, can you do it next week? I'm like, we can do it tomorrow if you want. Just tell me when. Yes, I love you too. So I'm good. If anybody's got any other questions, I can answer them. Otherwise, you guys have been here an hour. You got families, you got stuff to do, and I don't want to hold you up.
Lisa, thank you. I can't say it enough.
Thank
I'm almost gonna cry. We're all gonna leave here, and we're gonna work on vision. We're gonna find those details. Every single person that's on here, I know that we all took so much away, and I just love you and I thank you. I'm honored that you do this.
Keep me in the loop. I would love to be kept in the loop on your journey, and if I can ever help any of you, just reach out to me on Messenger or Messenger on my page or whatever it is. I always get back to everybody. Michelle will tell you that. Thanks so much for coming,
and I'm putting the link in the chat. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.